All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to some Oxygen Not Included. For people wondering why you're building this, is because there's a piece of carbon dioxide in here, and it's triggering me. Okay, man, it's triggering me. I don't know how it got there, but I noticed it while just looking through things, and yeah, it gotta go. So we're gonna have to dig this thing out and then refill it in. But yeah, so we're back with some more Oxygen Not Included. Can I just say, I don't even know anymore, man. It's weird, right? Because we're basically at a point where, you know, for all intents and purpose, we're not struggling that much anymore. Oh, really? Yeah, I mean, living purposes, like, we're doing Bing chillin'. Now, of course, you know, you can always up the difficulty by, or I guess artificially up the difficulty by taking in more dupes. So, you know, like, there's that way. If you want to really, you know, up the difficulty, you can have more dupes. I don't think I would be doing that just because that seems counterproductive. But yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, you know, like, we're just been living right now. Oh, this thing doesn't have the energy thing connected to it. Can I afford to have the energy connected to it? I don't know. Oh, why not? Why don't we do that? I want to move in the energy to the left a little bit, so I can add a transit node down here to just quickly transport people to and fro, whatever location they need to go. To and fro, whatever location you need to go. But yeah, I guess then again, you know, it is kind of nice to be at a point where, you know, I don't have to worry about struggling. I don't have to worry about, you know, I'm also gonna replace this. How did we build this all out of thing? Goddamn. Yeah, just because that ore, it's technically much more valuable, to be used as a metal rather than as an ore. So I think it makes sense. Another thing makes sense to add is the ability to sweep up all of the garbage. The garbage, of course, in some areas like the bedroom and stuff, you gotta manually sweep that stuff. But I mean, in the rest of the areas, though, I don't think we, especially this thing where I feel like objects always falls down here because, you know, like, people get busy and then they're like, oh, I gotta go do X or Y. So why don't we just add a ability to shift things? With a conveyor belt. And you know what? This one's gonna go in a different line just so that it doesn't overtax. It doesn't overtax the one line because I already have a couple of things feeding into it right now. So, you know, having something that doesn't overtax it is really good. So, what do you call it? Oh, one other thing. I think that we're gonna call this V3. That's V2. And then, well, V1 doesn't exist anymore. So, you know, everybody say goodbye to V1, I guess. But yeah, you know, we overhauled it. That's the most important part. We overhauled it. Now the system basically takes whatever this thing erupts and then, you know, like, get us that metal as soon as possible. Because at the end of the day, those metal is what keeps the economy, you know, turning around, going about, doing its thing. So it's important. What's also important is maybe I'm gonna feed the polluted dirt to the fishes. I'm also trying to extract the oil out from that thing because that thing has been disturbing me. So, you know, that's why that's there. Oh yeah, I forgot we're doing a bunch of like side projects these days. And then one of the bigger one of the big major project that we need to do is the overhaul of our ranching system. Currently, it's basically been on life support for quite a while now, and I do want to overhaul that shit. The only thing is, well, I've been busy. Okay, I've been busy with taking care of, you know, like the other things that I feel like has more what we call it, more pressing things. So why are you considered not connected? Ah, you're missing one wire. Well, like a 49 on that wire. Oh yeah, I'm thinking of putting a suit thing here too, so that they don't have to go all the way down and then all the way up. Rather, we're just gonna have a degree of separator, and then a suit thing on top so that they can work up here, because there's a couple stuff up here. There's even copper up here that we can mine. But yeah, ultimately though, I think the only way I can holy shit, that's negative 73. What the hell? Damn, that's cold. But yeah, ultimately, I think the only way we can die is we really fuck things up, to be kind of rude with you. So, as long as we don't, I don't even know, man. Like, we're living on on the peace, dividends these days. Like, for the most part, I mean, life is being chilling, right? Like, we're not struggling. We basically got infinite metal. I definitely think one volcano is not enough. 2 volcanoes, it really enables us to do like what we want to do. Which, now that I think about it, let me compare copper. Copper to iron. Iron has 55, copper has 60. So copper is it'd be like our daily what do you call it? Our daily shift plate driver. If we need to install like any shift plate. For cooling loop and all that business, where we need high capacity, I think we're gonna dedicate that shit to, like wherever it needs, Yeah, I mean, it's just might as well enjoy the peace while we have peace. You know what I'm saying? And then these savages are eating up all whatever materials that ends up on the bottom of the thing. I think eventually we're probably gonna do Sage Hatch, and the primary reason being is because they can farm, what you may call it. They can farm up a decent chunk. I'm trying to debate like where we're gonna put this Johnny, man. I don't even know, man. Oh, I didn't realize we were leaking in temperature through that little thing right there. It's not a good idea to probably have temperature leakage due to the fact that, it's pretty hot out there. But then again, with our aqua tuners and shit like that, like hot is relative these days. Temperature can't really kill me. I mean, we could again die through coldness, but that's like rare to say the least of things here, as just not many things can threaten our position right now. I think right now we're replacing some of these shift plates with the copper shift plates to promote temperature travel in between these plates. So it's a good thing because like it equalize the temperature, spread out the temperature more evenly. Because ultimately we want this thing to be temperature neutral as possible, right? I'm trying to think, because eventually we're gonna need dirt, right? So maybe I don't know, man. I mean, the thing with that is that in order to generate dirt, we need labor. I need something that doesn't take labor, because at the end of the day, I just want dirt. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Okay, we're looking up properties of carbon dioxide. Algae to dirt. Fertilizer to dirt. Slime to dirt. Polluted water to dirt. Yeah, I like the only thing that I would say that would be nice to have is probably dirt, brother. Yeah. These guys are useless. These guys eat dirt. Produced by pips produce dirt. Composable materials produce dirt. Seems as though pip is the only way to get dirt. But right now I have polluted dirt. Polluted dirt. We can heat it up to become molten glass. Okay. Yeah, because we were gonna have a Paku farm, and Paku, they love seeds, so they produce a lot of polluted dirt. Can this thing transition into like dirt or something, man? I don't think so, man. Yeah, it's mostly they just eat shit. Particularly not that useful. So I guess realistically speaking, we either feed it to become sand, which I don't think is useful, or we feed it to become coal, which is... I mean, I'm not that big. I'm not that big of a fan of coal power, but I mean, you know, like in a pinch, let's say if our power network fails for some reason, having coal power is not that bad. But honestly, I think we're gonna use petrol. I think that's gonna be our second form of like power to subsidize the first form of power, because at the end of the day, petrol is I think the end game. I mean the end game is turning that petrol into natural gas, but you know, like we don't have to get to that point. At least I don't think so. Because in order to get to that point, you need to do some shenanigans, to say the least of things here. So, plumbing, power, connect that heavy wires. Oh, did we not finish the automation wires? It's gonna be active for 80 cycles, basically. This thing is gonna be active for 30 cycles. I think this thing has a higher... Does not have higher. Average output is 107. This is 114. Interesting. Well, either way though, I mean, with these two firing, I'm not, you know, gonna be that concerned anymore. We're gonna need more suits ultimately. Yeah, because some of these airlocks doesn't have like their full suit like added in, you know. So what do we gotta do about the, you know, the surpluses, man? I don't know, man. I don't know anymore. I gotta contain these floral things though. I need to wear some like protected suits or something, man. What the fuck? Anyways, I'm gonna hijack this. Reroute you. I'm gonna hijack this. Reroute you. Ah, fuck, I fucked it. Oh, hello, Lecter. It's going alright, you know? I mean, then again, it's nothing's going wrong, so like, I guess you can say it's going quite well. Okay, I fucked up the wiring here, but don't worry about that. 49 all this, John. Yeah, I mean, our dupes are alive. We're pretty much chilling these days, you know, both in the literal sense. You know, we're chilling. Everything's gonna get cold eventually, which is gonna be nice, just because we live in a hot world. We live in a sandy world that has lots of sand everywhere, so it's actually kind of nice that everything's gonna get cold. And then on the other sense, you know, like I guess they call it metaphor-wise, we're also just, you know, enjoying our dividends right now, our peace dividends, as you know, we tame 2 volcanoes. And that's gonna allow us to have free metal. So it's always nice to have free metal these days. That doesn't have to use a metal refinery. No, we can always add additional heat if the time if this thing gets cold enough. So aqua tuners. Aqua tuners are aqua tuners and steam turbines are the primary way of heat deletion. I think there's other methods of heat deletion. But, I mean, in terms of, like, the most bang for your buck, it's the steam turbine and a little aqua tuner. And then, you know, a little steam. So, it sucks away a lot of heat. Or, it deletes a lot of heat. The steam turbine, specifically, is the thing that's actually deleting the heat. But the aqua tuner is what keeps the steam turbine from overheating. Because the steam turbine, part of its heat deletion, involves its releasing heat around, itself. So, you need aqua tuner to keep it cool. Or you need a wheeze for it. I guess that can also work. Another way I'm cooling my base is we have a cold slush geyser that erupts liquid at -10°C or 14 degrees, depending on what system you use. So that's another place this has been my primary way of cooling my base. Until we get to the industrial age, that's when you really need aqua tuners, because when you start messing around with the industry stuff, those things produce a lot of heat. So this little geyser couldn't keep up. So that's why we have aqua tuners. And more specifically, I have currently 3 aqua tuners. I have this one, that one, and that one. This one's the one primarily responsible for cooling down my base, though. In assistance to the cold slush geyser, which is primary job is just give us water. Cause you need water. Fuck. That didn't mean. Oh no. I only wanted to suck up the oil. Well, I'm gonna need to put a filter on. Let's disconnect you for a second because you're just adding too much liquid. Whoopsie, did I do that? Whoops. Yeah, I'm trying to remove the oil. It's been bothering me. It's just a little oil just sitting there, just being an absolute menace. We have a liquid filter. Honestly, when you're enjoying your peace dividends, just dump it wherever, man. Like, oh. Yeah, I mean, the general basis of how Aquatuna works is that it's just philosophy. Not philosophy, but, you know, it's just knowing how they work, right? So, let's say... Oh, actually, one thing about Aquatuner that you need to know is that you need steel. Because steel lets it operate at a much higher temperature. You can use, I guess, other products to, what do you call it? to make an aqua tuner. It's just the fail temperature is much lower. So do keep that in mind. For these guys to work optimally, you need to have steel. Oh, nice. Yeah, I like the cold slush geyser. Now, granted, it also depends on the war that what do you call it, you have, right? In this particular planet or starting war that I'll play the base game, by the way, so it's not spaced out. So we only have one war to work with. It's called Oasis. It's basically the last planet on like the asteroid that you can select. So it had a lot of excess heat, right? Like these things, is 66 something Celsius. So having a -10 geyser, allows me to cool my local surroundings and not also, be too chill where like it doesn't support life, right? So do keep in mind that it does come out at, a pretty cold temperature. So you might have to heat them up. Now, granted, heating it up is, what do you call it? Is much easier than cooling it. Just because cooling it requires an aqua tuner, while heating it up only requires, like, I forgot what it's called. It's somewhere. Maybe in utilities? Yeah, liquid temperizer. This heats up a body of water. So, let's say if I live in a really cold planet and, like, I don't need the excess cooling, I can use the liquid temperizer to a livable temperature, which I think is around 15. You can go as low as 5, but I wouldn't go down to like below 0. Because below 0, plants, let's use mealwood as an example. Actually, these guys will fail at fucking below 10. So you don't want to go below whatever temperature of whatever plant you're planning to use, because if you go below that temperature, that plant will fail. So yeah, this one is 5. That one is 10. But right now we set it to 15, so we're good in that department. But I don't want to go below 5. Probably is gonna be my like cutoff point. But figure out like where your comfortable temperature is very important, because like depending on your life support system, ranching, those guys, well, they have different temperature requirements. So I don't know too much about them, because of the fact that we haven't done really much advanced ranching, to say at least of things. But regarding plants, they have a lower degree of tolerance compared to animals, critters. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Also, one other thing is base design. This is probably not my best base design. It kind of just became a sprawling mega base. But, like, the more isolated your life support is, the better, because that means, like you have better control of it. Or you can go mega base design like me and, like just expand everywhere. So yeah, so this planet, we don't have algae, or at least at the start we don't have algae. So most of my oxygen generation, I guess, is through one electrolyzer. But my understanding of it, one electrolyzer can support around 8 dupes, something like that. So it generates a lot of oxygen. The only downside to this is the electrolyzer. It produces the oxygen at a rather hot, yeah, at least at 70 C. So do keep that in mind if you want to use the what do you call it, electrolyzer. It does produce oxygen at a very high temp. Other ways of producing oxygen, if you start off with a lot of algae, I like the oxygen diffuser. It's probably like my favorite early game oxygen generator before you move on to the electrolyzer. Some people have been telling me I've been sleeping on the rust deoxidizer, but I have not seen many planets, at least from the system that I played so far. I have not seen many planets that have a lot of rust. So I can't vouch for it, but apparently it's a sleeper in terms of favorability. Algae terrarium, how much? How about at 30 grams per second compared to this one, which is 500 grams per second. 40 grams of oxygen. This one, I guess, if you have really limited amount of algae, it's not bad because it also removes carbon dioxide. But yeah, I don't really use this these days because it consumes water, right? And water early game is really mission critical. It's life critical. So anything that consumes water is a big no-no for me. So that's why I probably like the algae, even though it consumes more algae. The fact that it doesn't consume water is a really beneficial thing. So I don't know about the algae terrarium. I guess you can use it to remove carbon, but honestly, if you want to remove carbon, carbon skimmer is your best friend. Or if you're like me and you want a little sick little freak, you can use oxyferns. Oxyferns produce about... It depends on how much you start with, right? If you start with a bunch of oxyferns, then, you know, it'll produce more oxygen. But in my base, it generates about 1/4 of my oxygen generation, which is kind of nice. Just because these things, you know, you just set it and then you forget about it. You don't have to worry about it. As long as there's carbon, these guys will operate and they'll generate oxygen. So it's a very nice plant to have around, especially in the lower dips of your base, just because they suck up the carbon and they release oxygen. So pretty nice. Yeah, that's pretty good. These days, I'm just relying on this guy to provide me water. It's been doing a pretty good job. As you can probably tell with our huge backlog of water. Yeah, I mean this one, it's honestly amazing how much one cold what do you call it, slush geyser can, I guess, cool and also add water to your base. So this one geyser is really serving up like two different purposes, right? And then there's also salt. Don't really use the salt, but you know, it exists. That's a lot of salt. Holy shit. I don't know what to do with the salt, man. We have a bunch of it. I know you use it for food, but I'm like... We can skimp on the food. What was I about to skimping? Alright, so wait. How did I set this up? I set up that thing. So I want to do crude oil. Power. Yeah, I mean, it depends. Like, I feel like it's really easy to be sustainable with low amount of dupes. The only problem that if you have low amount of dupes, then there's a lot of jobs that needs to get done throughout your colony, so it takes some time for it to get done. I think we probably want either a farmer to help out with the farming so that my other dupes can do whatever. I don't even know, man. I legitimately... I think at max, I'm probably going to go up to 12 dupes because I think that's a sustainable level of dupes to have. Once I tame this coal steam vent, I don't think we're going to need much more water than that because currently, I mean, we're already having a good surplus of water. Yeah, I mean, at the beginning, I don't want to take more than like 3 dupes, to be honest with you, because like things can spiral out of control pretty quickly. But I guess we're getting to that point now where adding like 1 or 2 dupes is not gonna like torpedo my run, which is nice. You know, not have to struggle. It's always a nice thing, right? So, it may be time to expand. Oh yeah. At the beginning, like I'm hella stingy with water. Until you get to the mid game where you know you're producing your own water or you're a net water producer, like you better bet you're the ass. They're gonna eat raw lice, bro. And then eventually we're gonna upgrade to the what do you call it, bristle bosom. I'm just gonna call it bristle, man, because these guys generate a higher calorie density compared to the mealwood. And you can cook them, which, you know, doesn't require any water, so why not? I guess eventually, you know, you're gonna upgrade your food to like barbecue or paku fillet. I think there's also surf and turf that combines both meat and vegetables, which, you know, that reminds me, we should probably research all that, Johnny. Actually, you know what? Let's research all this, Johnny, first. Just I know we don't need it, but we might as well get it just to be. Why not? But yeah, I mean, early game survival though, it's not too bad. I mean, once you get your latrine set up, it's pretty nice, honestly. I love this thing. My entire colony of 8 dupes only runs on 2 bathrooms. it's honestly not that bad. We don't have any accidents, so I probably will want to upgrade eventually to 4 toilets so that everybody can use the toilet at a time instead of, you know, 2 on, 2 off. To be real with you, I don't think I've ever have to use the shower. But I don't even know how useful showers are, to be honest. Because I'm like, dupes rarely get sick for me. I mean, the only time like we actually need to use like medical is these little fuckers right here, man. I'm gonna move you. You kill all your local peers and all that business. You gotta go, homie. You gotta go. You need to leave. I'm gonna probably move him up here, live in the woods, and then he won't disturb anybody up there. Big critter drop off point for that guy. Oh yeah, I definitely think it's actually kind of nice just because, you know, like you then can extract the water and use it whatever purpose. For me, I hate that it has germs. So you better bet that shit is never gonna touch my my what do you call it, my main system node. Now, in the beginning, you know, like, you know, I actually try to take that water and use it for something, but these days I'm like, fuck it, man. I don't want to make a whole chlorine tank and, you know, like do that shit. So instead I just pump it directly into the plants. Because the plants, they won't have germs. They'll just delete the water with the germs in it. So I'm just using most of that. I used to use it to produce oxygen, but the downside with that is it produces, you know, germy oxygen. Even though, you know, in the long run the germ's gonna die anyways. I just don't like germs. Which is why, like, bristles, I don't really like these guys, but you know, we kind of need them. I don't like germs, period. I guess that's probably why we never deal with sickness, because, you know, we never get germs inside our base to begin with. Pro tip, you won't get sick if you have no germs. But yeah, all the surplus water now is just going into my plants and then getting deleted, so those germs will never see the light of day. Now, probably inside the pipes, there's probably a bunch of germs, probably. And then, of course, you know, the toilet and stuff like that. Like, there's germs there. Anything, we gotta move the polluted shit around, man, because we should probably have an area to process polluted stuff. Just because, you know, it's, becoming annoying. I'll probably add that area when we do expanded farms. What am I doing right now? That's a good question. Oh, I did not mean to put... Did I mean to put that liquid temporizer? Are you supposed to be here? I don't know. You can stay for now, I guess. But yeah, the reason why Waycott eats me, man. Probably. I know you can kill them with like chlorine, but I don't think, can you kill them with temperature? I mean, it makes sense, right? Because you know, we boil water to kill germs, but can you freeze them? Is the better question. Let's do food poisoning. They can live -25. So basically, you're not killing them. You're not killing them, my guy. You got to go all the way to -25, and that's gonna kill you before it kills them. Surprisingly, it's only up to 75. Interesting. I guess instead of chlorine, you can use what you may call it. You can use temperature to kill them. I don't know, man. 75? That's not livable. I don't know about that one, Chief. 75 seems pretty hot. I guess then again, like Torditube. Wait, is it 75C or 75 degrees? Because that's different. No, it's 75C, dog. Ain't no way, bro. That's 167. Ugh. I guess, but I don't I don't have to worry about that these days. I mean, we do need a farmer. And not attack critters. Requires light to sleep. Nah, that guy fucking sucks. We have time to be picky. No power. Why is it that we have no power? Where is my power? Oh. But yeah, what do you call it? Once you get the Aqua Tuner, though, life becomes so much easier, man. Oh. Just because Aqua Tuner itself can provide, like, a lot of cooling. So, you know, it can turn an area that's 68 something Celsius down to 3.6. And even lower, technically, because I'm running these loops even lower. Just because the premise of Aqua Tuner is that whatever temperature it's coming in at, it's gonna minus 14. So you want to use liquid that can hold a lot of temp in it. So that it removes more temperature. Now, you know, it's coming out like -1 and then coming out like a -15, something like that. Yeah, it can provide a lot of cooling. Now, granted, early game, I think the best liquid, hands down, is polluted water. I just don't like polluted water because, like, if you fuck up with something, it produces polluted oxygen, and then it mixes in with the thing, and then it's just like, god damn it. We need more carbon, dog. Carbon skimmer, you're too goddamn good, dog. All right, let's do 2,600 grams. Because I'm using oxyferns for my oxygen production, I gotta make sure that there's appropriate carbon levels so that these oxyferns are always generating oxygen. I mean, it's not necessary. It's a little, like, side project, basically. What I do on my fun time, I plant a bunch of oxyferns and then let them do the job, man, of just producing oxygen. And as you can probably tell, they generate a quarter of our oxygen, basically, so it's pretty good. Would recommend. Love oxyferns. The only thing is I don't get any of those seeds, so we gotta make do with what we're given. and I guess you can get them in the wait caught. You can get them via your printing machine once in a while. I honestly would like Wheezeworts, man. The one thing I miss is Wheezeworts. Why Wheezeworts? My god. Free cooling without having to worry about... I guess it depends if you use pips, right? You can also just farm them normally, especially if you have Dreckodes too. Because Dreckodes, like, they shit out phosphorus and then that phosphorite, and then you can use that for your Wheezewort. I miss them so much, man. We don't get many of those guys these days. Yeah, they'll only consume this, and as long as you have a Dreckode thing, you know, relatively easy to maintain. You could also use Pip to set up natural farms. I like natural farms. Honestly, natural farms are pretty good. Pretty good. Just because they consume no resource. Though I don't think I'm gonna set up bristle farm just because they take, even though they technically is like 16 calories more efficient than mealwood. Mealwood just generates at a lower time frame. Less efficient, but you get it more frequently. Which, you know, I think it's worth it. But then again, it does add also labor cost to our thing too. So if you think about it, maybe we should start a bristle farm instead. Just because that would take less labor. Because, you know, they grow less. And they offer more calorie. Yeah, hatches is also one of those things that are nice to have. It's just, we're running on like 100% renewables right now. I say renewables. It's basically infinite. I love geysers, man. These natural gas geyser, I don't know why you're not called a vent. But, you know, these guys provide like the backbone of my power economy right now. And then I think eventually my failsafe, well, currently my failsafe is coal. Just because, well, I mean, coal. Coal is dependable, right? And also I have a billion hatches just walking around everywhere eating random shit. So, we're going to have at least some coal production available for these guys. They can also eat my polluted dirt too, which is gotta be nice. Just because I gotta figure out where to get rid of these polluted dirt, man. We have too much polluted dirt. It's everywhere. I guess, you know, while you guys are not doing anything, why don't you guys clean up the base a little bit? Because the base is like dirty as fuck. Look at this shit. Look at this. A dirty base is not good. But yeah, right now that'll be fine, probably. They're not doing anything right now anyways. I'm not planning any major I should probably plan major expansions at these points, but I don't know. There's something nice about just relaxing, you know, without having to worry about life. Cause this game, you can definitely get yourself in a cycle of like, man, we're not producing enough, man. This is not good. What? Oh. Cool. Chlorine? Nope. Copper? Nope. What gas am I looking for? Hydrogen? Ah, no power. Son of a bitch. But yeah, I love these volcanoes. I guess, you know, I think the ideal volcano is probably gold. But, I mean, we got an iron volcano, which is like, that shit is more for its weight in gold, you know what I'm saying? Because it produces steel at the end of the day, or you use iron to produce steel. So, that's really nice. I just tamed this additional volcano because we needed, what you may call it. We needed additional refined metals because the iron was taken. Well, I mean, now that the iron, we're producing like an astronomical amount. The previous design was really inefficient, so we were able to solve the inefficiency of it. Now it's actually giving us the iron at a you know, good pace. But the copper is just used for subsidizing the iron, and also copper is a little bit more conductive. This world that we spawn in has aluminum, which is very nice, just because aluminum, the conductivity of aluminum is crazy, bro. Thermal conductivity is how fast it transfers temperature, and aluminum has like just ludicrous numbers, man. Look at this shit. 410? What the fuck? I love it. It's the best. It's the best liquid, man. I think we have some air bubbles here. Yeah, we do. But yeah, also right now my entire grid runs on renewables. So like the primary thing is the natural gas. We have 2 natural gas geyser that are evaporating natural gas, and then we're sucking up all that natural gas and then putting it back into our economy, which is really nice. Very nice. Gotta watch this liquid thing to make sure it doesn't overfill. Okay, there's a couple more air bubbles that needs to be filled out. Yeah, most of my cooling centralizes on, like one location. You can have decentralized cooling and, have one cooling loop and then, like have that loop run throughout your base. It's all up to personal preference, right? At the end of the day. I guess then again, most of my cooling is also decentralized. Except for the main base. The main base has like one gigantic loop. Again, precursor to a what do you call it? To the mega base design. So that mega base design kind of came into fruition because, well, I mean, the circumstances, right? Oh, dude, hydrogen is always because there's that hydrogen machine too that allows you to, like basically inject hydrogen and get coolness from that. Like that's also really nice. Just because anything that cools your base before the age of aqua tuners is always preferred, to say the least of things, just because it just allows you to maintain your current temperature without having to rely on steel, because into the steel age is what the real struggle is, man. There's no liquid in you, right? There might be liquid in you. Yeah, it contains 8 kilograms of polluted water. How do you empty that? Make sure there's any more polluted water. I think ultimately natural gas is like the end all be all in terms of like the best. But hydrogen is nice too. I mean, at least with the oxygen, like it produces enough power to power itself, which is always nice. Just because a self-powering system means you don't have to manage it, and anything you don't have to manage is one less headache that you have to worry about, right? I guess the only thing that you really got to worry about with these guys is that the temperature, it erupts at a really hot temperature. So making sure that the temperature is controlled is important. But air, like relatively speaking, they don't hold their temperature like that hot. So just a little bit of passive cooling and bada bing bada boom. You get fresh clean air at a livable temperature. What I'm surprised by is how resilient it is to temperature drop, because I've been trying to drop this boy temperature down to a little bit, and it's just like, no, I don't want to drop. Ah, fuck. Also cooling this thing down. Being a little real stubborn son of a bitch. Yeah, I think 15C is good. I'm not gonna cool it too cold, because again, the mealwood fails at 10, so I gotta be a little bit more sensitive with the temperature drop. So I think around 15 is good. And then ultimately, this 15 is going to translate across the base, and then it's going to cool down to 15. It's just going to take a long amount of time due to the mass, but I mean, as long as it's below 30, we are in like emo temperature right now. Where we can live a good life. This is just a water tank for me, so like the main goal of it is okay. Really? It's not that hard. No, don't mind the spaghetti, okay? There's a lot of spaghetti, but like we have 2 primary cooling loops, and those loops spaghettify all across our base. And then the polluted water is usually used for the aqua tuners. Now, granted, that doesn't apply over here because I've not gone around to inject the polluted water into here yet. But if it's water, its probably primary use is probably going to be cooling or injecting liquid into our oxygen generation. It's all, I don't think it's that squish. My previous I guess then again, like if you look at, well, the thing is with this thing, right, is that The planet that we started on was like it's Ludocott, basically, like 68. So every time we expand to a new area, you know, we had to do measure expansion basically, because we can't just willy-nilly dig around, because basically you fuck around, you find out real quick that your base is gonna get superheated by the local material. So I guess it kind of makes sense, because we kind of had to squish ourselves in such a hot environment. Definitely the insulated tile, MVP of the game, man. Without these guys, we will never be able to colonize the outer, or I guess the inner layers. Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, you know, I think Terra's like the first one, right? Yeah, well, that one's nice. You start off with like a billion algae. You can just burn that shit. You don't have to worry about oxygen. You don't have to worry about cooling, because there's also ice biome. I haven't seen an ice biome in my life, man. That's why I miss Wheezewort so much, because, you know, back then we can just use Wheezewort to cool our shit, man. We don't have to worry about, you know, we don't have to worry about heat until we have to hit the age of metal refinery, aka the industrial age. Here it's just like, bro, there's heat literally in every single corner. Deal with it. It's not too bad, because we lucked out with a coal, what do you call it, coal salt slush geyser, and like, I love this thing. This thing, honestly, this thing made the run possible, because like before the age of aqua tuners, we had to rely on this guy, and you know, without this guy, I don't think we would have made it this far. This one geyser is the lifeblood that kept the entire colony functioning. It's not too bad. Like, as I always say at the beginning, you realistically only have to worry about 3 things. Air, oxygen, I guess, because it's not included. That's the primary thing. Secondary thing, food. Homies gotta eat. Luckily homies don't have to drink, so like you can just, you know, like fork them over the drinking aspect. And then third thing is temperature. As long as you follow those criteria, you know, is your air good? All right, you can move on to the next 2. Or the following 2, and then rinse and repeat until you get yourself to a sustainable loop. But you know, depending on how many dupes you have, yada yada, what kind of geyser you have available, you can hit that thing probably sooner than me. It took us almost 600 cycles, almost 45 hours to get to sustainability. I say sustainability, but we're still burning like a couple resources. But like realistically speaking, we have so much tons of that. I probably will quit the game before we run out of that resource. This how nice it is. And then that's the early game, right? So once you sort those 3 guys out for the early game, then you can worry about the mid game. Mid game is mostly about temperature. You know, like the third point that you gotta worry about. I guess it depends, right? At least on the ideal starter planet, temperature doesn't really fuck you until you get to industry. On Oasis, temperature fucks you real quick if you expand too quickly. So you definitely need a source of cooling, and coal slush geyser, that's a thumbs up for me, man. I'm guessing it's probably set to spawn pretty early. 2,700 grams. Gotta increase the carbon. These top plants aren't working. If they're not working, I ain't getting paid. Can also debate on expanding down south a little bit just to grab a couple more spots. Oxygen. I don't know, man. I have a soft spot for Oxyfern, because Oxyfern was one of our early, like, these guys at the height of their oxygen generation. It was probably 100, not 100%, because they don't produce a net positive, because it takes like, especially if you do it natural farming style, it takes almost like 16 or 17 to break even. But by golly, is it nice to just have free shit, you know what I'm saying? It's something nice about just being like, oh, I can just set it and then forget about it. Yeah, 30C is generally like, we had one moment where like my entire base was like 30C because the water content was so hot. It was bad, man. Like the Great Famine of Cycle 300 really fucked us like horribly. I think you could probably see in the colony summary we ate all of our animals because all of our plants died, so we had to use animals to replenish our replenish our food. Yeah. Can you see when we suffer a heat death moment? Yeah, we had like at the height of our animal production post before the heat death, we had 23 critters. By the end of it, we ate 20 of them. To basically sustain ourselves. We killed a lot. A lot of animals died, to say the least of things, so that we can live. Yeah, heat is definitely not a fun time. That's why my base hit 30 Celsius and all my plants failed, so we had to eat the animals. And now look at us. We made a huge bounce back. I'll always remember that. Around cycle 300 is when all of our life support system failing. So, yeah, this is what you get for not managing your life support, to say the least of things here. But then I don't think it shows itself in any other thing. Also, we cut down our energy waste. It's so nice. Yeah, it's a steady one duplicate growth once in a while. So that's what I get for neglecting temperature. So, you know, don't get me wrong, temperature is the third priority, but you know, like if you neglect it, it will fuck you in your first other two priorities. So, but for me, temperature is always the third priority, just because again, at the end of the day, homie gotta breathe, and you know, like homie not being able to breathe is gonna kill you really quickly. Homie not being able to eat is gonna kill you very quickly. So temperature, I mean, it's a slow killer. Temperature is not gonna kill you directly; it's gonna kill you indirectly via starving you or not, or you know, like not oxygenating you, basically, because it's too hot. Also, we don't have like a central storage. I just store things on the ground in this one middle area. I do not dare to see how many items are here, because we can't even get to the end of the list, man, before it gets out of the screen. I mean, eventually we're probably moving somewhere, but for now, I'm just gonna centralize everything in the base because, you know, it makes my life more convenient. It looks like they're doing a good job. I think eventually I'm gonna rip this section off and then actually give them 4 bathrooms so that they don't have to use bathrooms in shift mode. And actually, I don't want you to handle the thing over here because... Yeah, I mean, it's better. I mean, you know, like this thing is almost sweeped. I mean, ideally, you should be using the auto sweeper because the auto sweeper, like that shit works 24/7. It doesn't require people input. But that's a... I mean, then again, you know, like again, we're enjoying our peace dividends right now of these 2 geysers. The Iron's gonna kick up online quicker, which is good. Resources. Need all the resources. Honestly, the mid game is where I'm like, I don't know what else we could do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're not super efficient. We still gotta go into space, but it's just like, god damn, man. I know what I need to do. It's just a pain in the dick. And so that's why, wait, caught. I'm gonna just set sweeping orders for the time being. And then the next thing, or the next task that I want them to do is I want to explore the world. Because someone told me there's a big-ass ocean. Ooh. That's not the big-ass ocean that I was looking for. But, I mean, there's a big-ass on the bottom of the map. So, you know, I was like, you know what? Why not? Why not go see this? Why not go see the ocean? So that's the general... Ooh. Ooh. I'll take the larval eggs. So I think the next mega project that I'm probably going to do is probably going to be ranching. Getting the pets. I don't want to mix the liquids, man. Why do they always give me the hardest task? Me, try not mix the liquid. Game, are you sure about that? Oh, congrats, Cody. Let's go. Cycle 200 is an achievement. I mean, Cycle 100 itself is an achievement, honestly. That means you survive at least long enough to not die of oxygen deprivation. I think most colonies, how they're gonna go is probably temperature. Temperature is what usually fucks most colonies. Nice. Yeah, be careful with vents, though. Working with vents can be kind of ficky, you know, because they're pretty hot. I guess depending on the vents, right? Okay, this vent is kind of the opposite. It's pretty cold. But most of the vents that you interact with, you know, like they're spewing shit at pretty high temperatures. Like this one is 150. You know, the metal ones, you know, those shit spews at, what do you call it? 2,000, so... I'm just saying, you know, heat is what usually kills most colonies. I guess also there's water, but honestly, I don't think water is that big of a deal. Once you get to self-sustainability. Of course, you know, depend on the dupes, right? The more dupes you have, the more problems. It's true, though. So, you know, expand your dupes with a hint of salt. Which is why I like low amount of dupes, because it's just so much easier to hit sustainability. No, I think ultimately, though, we will need to increase the amount of dupes, because there's just going to be so much shit that people need to do in terms of, like, farming. Or, you know, oil production. We haven't even hit oil production yet, which is crazy, man. It's just really nice not having to worry about oil. I think oil is what really drives me crazy. Because oil is like, you need oil to produce, you know, whatever XY resources. And then in order to produce oil efficiently, you gotta do some shenanigans, basically. There's the inefficient path of producing oil, and then there's the efficient path of producing oil. The efficient path is what drives me crazy, man. Because you have to deal with such high temperature that I'm just uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable with these high and low ass temperatures that you gotta interact with. Oh, ads. Sorry, y'all. Damn it. We were just getting into it. That's why I like Wheezeworts, man. If you have an ice biome, you have Wheezeworts in there, and with Wheezeworts, my god. It might not seem like it, but they produce pretty decent cooling, at least for an early game base. Like, realistically speaking, unless you're using the metal, what you may call it, the metal refinery, like Wheezeworts can handle like the early game cooling of your base a-okay, like a real one. Damn, we misaligned. It's misaligned. Out of our beach. Also, we finally found the polluted water. The polluted water! The polluted water exists! It's actually quite crazy, because if you look at it, right now, we have about 119 kilograms of polluted water, man. It's kind of sad. Because all my polluted water that we generate via this thing is just getting sucked up into our plants and then dying. It's fork germs. Me and my homies, we hate germs! Now, granted, leaving the germy water directly above the, you know, regular water, probably not the best idea, but, you know, don't worry about it. We'll probably have to move our farms, too, now that I think about it. you know, something about having the germs sit right next to my nice, fresh, clean, no germy water. No, it's probably nice. Yeah, the only germs that exist in my base right now is these, you know, like fluorescent. But as long as your guys are not allergic, it does absolutely nothing. Nothing. Oh wait, we're getting to like the slime lung. Ugh. Ugh. I might want to pop open that vent, honestly. Actually, what temperature do plastic melt? Melting point is 159. Yeah, because I don't think slime lung can spread amongst carbon dioxide. Because I mean, the carbon has been here, and the slime lung is just chilling. Wait, slime lung? Where can you spread to? Multiplies in slime, pollute oxygen. Kill by solid, oxygen, and liquid. I still don't think we have to deal with it. That's kind of weird. Our path of progression has kind of changed, I guess, how we work. You know what I'm saying? Because in a normal progression, you know, you go to coal, yada yada, natural gas, and then petrol. But because we skip directly to natural gas, I mean, like, kind of living a bing chillin' life right now, which is kind of nice. Just because natural gas is a really great renewable. And I would say a great daily driver too, because ultimately they pollute water, right? But that polluted water, like realistically speaking, you can consume that shit to just produce more water. I don't know, man. It's free power. We haven't had a dupe have to work in the power industry for like ages, basically. And also, this one auto sweeper is doing God's work out here. He is cleaning up this place, man. How's the cleanup over here? Well, they have managed to clean half of the rooms. I mean, maybe it should be a nice guy. Maybe no, actually, nah. Pipe block. Oh, Shauza. Bruh. I don't know how to get the water up there, man. Uh-oh. Why don't you learn? You have too much water. How do I burn water? I don't know, man. I guess we can burn water to produce oxygen, but realistically speaking, the environment that we want... Oh yeah, definitely. You're gonna need refined metals. And that's a fact. A fast fact. Refined metals is what really dictates your transition into the mid game. Because once you get your first couple of refined metals, what do you call it? You want to build up to steel. And steel, you're gonna need iron amalgam. Which you usually find that shit in like the swamp. Oh, actually not the swamp biome. Whatever this biome is called. I don't know what this is, but you know. That's where I found my first iron. And then from that first iron, what do you call it? We made the steel for the first aqua tuner. And that first aqua tuner was installed via this thing because we want to get more iron. Bring it to the surface. Start venting that shit into space. I might have to, man. There's technically ways of dark magic that you can engage upon that lets you store things infinitely, but I don't know. Something about that just it doesn't make sense, you know. So I'm not using that. But technically, you can store infinite liquid, and I believe you can also store infinite gas too. But that shit's dark magic, and we don't engage in dark magic here. Okay, no dark magic users. Maybe not until we reach the end game, where you know it actually becomes, I don't know, a headache to deal with stuff. Inventory management, man. Yeah, you see, I'm about to report you to the majesties of dark magic, dog. I'm just glad I'm not at the point where I have to deal with the dark arts, you know? Alright, so we're probably gonna have to get down to this level. Mine out this Johnny. We're gonna have to suck up. God, I love it. I love it, dude. I love these tubes. These tubes are great. Worth recommend if you ever get to the mid game. These tubes, they let you travel real quick, yo. The only thing is that these goddamn tubes are very power hungry, so they will eat a lot of your power supply. But by golly, do they let your dupes travel around pretty quickly? And then wait, call in the base, the fire pole is also a nice addition, just so people can drop to and fro wherever they need to go. Yeah. Eventually, we're probably need to create like stations in between. I don't know what the best optimal, spacing efficiency is, but it's whatever. Okay. So you want to get into meta refining? There's a couple of ways you can approach this. Each way or each method has a different efficiency ratio, basically. So in the beginning, you gotta Falco punch those rocks. If you don't want to use the meta refinery, which outputs a lot of heat. I just gotta figure out where it is, man. Okay, actually, I have one already pre-built. But the rock crusher, you don't generate as much heat. But what do you call it? It only produces the resource at 50%. So let's say I put 100 kilograms of copper. I think, yeah, it is literally 100 kilograms of copper into the rock crusher. It generates 50% refined metal and then 50% sand. So you lose 50% of the copper that you put in. So ideally, you would not be using the rock crusher at all, basically, because it kills half of your what you may call it, half of your resources. So it eats into your resources much quicker than, refining it through the meta refinery. The meta refinery is definitely the ideal things of where you get your fine metal. It gives you 100% back. So you put 100 kilograms of copper, you get 100 kilograms of refined metal. So, but the only problem with the meta refinery is that it adds a lot of heat. So without the ability to cool it, that heat will slowly heat up your base. My initial thing, how I dealt with the heat, was I had a meta refinery, and then the meta refinery dumped its heat into the coal, what do you call it? Coal slush geyser, and then the coal slush geyser will cool it, allow me to use this meta refinery with like no impact, basically. But it's definitely, you definitely don't want to use as much rock crusher unless you desperately need that initial refined metal. Then you can use the rock crusher, but you really realistically want to use the meta refinery. There's also ranching. You can also get refined metal through ranching. It's a little bit better, but it's honestly not that much better. I forgot what those guys are called, man. Hatches. There's a hatch that eats ore and generate refined metal at 75% efficiency. So that's another way you can look to produce refined metal. It's somewhere here, man. I know you exist, you son of a bitch. Don't you lie to me. There's a stone hatch. That's not the right one. There we go. The smooth hatch. These little fuckers, they eat 100 kilograms. They shit out 75. So it's 75% efficiency. They produce, I guess, no heat if you think about it. So it's not that bad. But you still lose 25% of your like copper that you put in. So it's not the best. And it's really niche, I think, where you'll use a smooth hatch to produce your thing. What do you call it? Produce your copper. If you're living the base biome and you have a snow biome, you can just use the meta refinery in the snow biome and then just dump the excess heat in the snow and then have the Weezwarts and whatever, like kill it, basically. So ideally you want to use the meta refinery as soon as possible. The only thing that you got to keep in mind is that if you use the meta refinery, is that the power lines itself needs to be not the base power line, but the refined metal power line, because the base bar can only support up to 1000 kilowatts. So in the beginning, when you first use it, you'll probably damage your wire, but it's still better. It's still more efficient than using the rock crusher. So It's all up to you when you want to start using it. Of course, this thing outputs a shit ton of heat, so do keep that in mind if you do use it. You will need to figure out like where you're gonna put that heat. Of course, in a like place that has like a cold biome, you can just dump it into local cold environment because it doesn't really matter. If you have a cold slush geyser, you can dump it here too. It's not that bad. It does heat up the pool water that you're dumping into, so you keep that in mind. Like the cold slush geyser won't be able to cool it, at least down enough. You need sand, man? I don't think I'll ever need sand in my life. I have this much sand, and then what do you call it? If you go up into space, there's also regolith. Regolith can be used similar to sand, so I guess then again, like, it's pretty hot at 100 degrees, but it's technically counts as a filtration medium. So if you have a way to cool solids, not also a bad way, just because this is basically renewable sand. If I guess that again, I don't know, man. Most maps have like a desert biome or a biome that just has sand. So like, and this map is literally just sand exclusive because it is the Oasis map. So it has infinite sand. I'm never gonna run out of. I'm never gonna run out of fucking sand, man. It's everywhere. It's coarse. It's rough, and it's never gonna leave me. Oh, you're getting coal? Yeah, I mean, coal is like the first baby automation system that you set up, just because coal is really, it's really nice. It's easy. It does generate like a shit ton of heat and stuff like that, but when you first start out, like that heat, generally speaking, is not gonna heat that environment like that much, because it's heated air compared to like heated solids, right? Heated solids will add like a lot of heat, while heated air, like as long as you have enough mass around, it's not too bad. The only thing with these guys is, or any power system, is that you need a smart battery. Honestly, that's one thing I'll use the rock crusher for, maybe producing one smart battery and then producing automation for that one smart battery, because having it not burn all of its electricity is really important, just because you want to burn only when you need, right? So a smart battery allows you to do that. Oh, I don't even use gas masks. Honestly, I mean, maybe I should use them once in a while, man, but look at that shit. Fuck that shit. Me and my homies, we hate gas masks. I don't know if it's still the same as the previous gas mask, where like it's non-renewable in terms of like once they use it, they lose it. But I prefer suits, honestly. It's just much better. Notification squad. But then again, that's probably why I struggle so much in the early game, because I go into zones that we can't breathe, and then I'll be like, I don't know what's going on, man. Ah! And then when I get suits, it's just like, wow, we can breathe. So maybe gas mask is just that position part, right? Of like the early game to the mid game, where you can, go into zones where it doesn't have oxygen levels and actually work in those zones. But then again, like exploring though, that shit's dangerous, yo. Especially without proper protection and shit like that. So, I don't know. Again, like this experience is, geared towards surviving an oasis, right? So, unreachable build. What the heck? It's a carbon generation, battery, and I fail hydrogen generation. Hydrogen, assuming that using the oxidizer, should always produce a net surplus. I'm pretty sure, unless you're trying to tame a hydrogen vent, which it's different, right? Yeah, I really wish I had more efficient design in terms of producing airlocks. The only airlocks I know is literally just the water airlock. I guess you could technically use a gas airlock if you can manage your gas properly. Because carbon, you can basically fill an airlock with carbon. But the thing is that it gets override by liquid, so like you might as well just use liquid at that point. I might as well just use liquid carbon, aka crude oil, baby. Wait, hold up. That thing froze? What the fuck? Oh, it was water. Okay. Okay. I'm also stopped leaking like cold temperature out because I want this loop to run pretty independently. The only thing that's gonna add heat is, you know, a couple areas. Me? Not really. I mean, I have some for like the old boys, the old cards. But I don't really use it. It's really just for the notification people. Those who want to get tagged. I guess besides the Twitch slash. Oh, now we're on YouTube, so we're branching out, y'all. Ooh, I haven't been able to catch you live. I guess then again, we stream like relatively in the same time frame. So kind of makes sense. Base, definitely. So probably can't watch too much because got other stuff. Actually, well, usually when I get off is basically I have like maybe an hour to two of free time left, and you know, like usually then I'm using that time to either play my other games. It's usually just CS, honestly, these days. It's my vice, okay, y'all. You can add exit point. Exit point doesn't do anything. It just gives dupes more options to like figure out where they want to go. Damn. That's crazy, man. Though I kind of get it though. I'm like my sleep schedule is like all sorts of forked up right now. So like I wake up at odd times to say the least of things. Hoping for stability sooner than later. But then again, I'm only playing this to dread the day when we have to do Frostpunk. Because after this, we're probably gonna loop back into Frostpunk, and then I'm gonna have to beat it. Which is another game I recommend. At least Frostpunk 1. I know Frostpunk 2, like, there's a big, like, difference in terms of, like, how they approach the game. So, no landing available. Let's add, like, a ladder for the time being. It's crazy. Like, having athletics... very mission critical, especially since the suit itself like minus 10 athletics, so I guess I didn't really mention about plastic. Plastic is honestly, man, these Drecos, I found them to be probably the best in terms of plastic generation. You can use oil, but by golly, is it so much easier to just farm Drecos, man. Because these guys shit out plastic, or I guess they don't shit out plastic. They're like sheeps that grow plastic on them. So, what you call it? They're very nice. I would recommend. Just because they get the shit done. And, you know, plastic is kind of nice because it allows you to build the comfort bed that we have a skin on. I'm so glad that we got a skin on this bed because, man, that's the only unique thing about our colony, man. We got a little nice boat skin. Other than that, I have no other skin. This game has not given me anything anything besides the boat. And I'm pretty sure the boat was like probably part of like something. I don't remember. What is that? Wait, is that the frost out animals? Because I don't remember that. I don't remember hearing about that animal, man. Oh, so they're like the cows. Yeah. They're probably. Yeah, I think that's probably frost out there. Because I'm like, I don't remember anything huge. I think the whole... I don't even know. What is the hugest thing? I don't know, man. Puffs are not that huge, dog. I don't know. Oh, yo, free steal. Hey, yo, we'll take free steal any day, bro. Straight up. Trying to figure out like what I'm gonna do. Well, where's the ocean? I've been lied to, man. That's not ocean. That's magma. God damn it. Well, we've been lied to. Unless there's an ocean below the magma, which I don't think there is. Well, I mean, I was gonna use you anyways, so I guess we might as well. But god damn it. I've been lied to. Is this part of the Frost Out DLC? Oh. You meant my book. I thought you meant I meant your book. What are they called? Nope. Nope. Yep. It's either the Frost Out DLC or the Space Out DLC because I don't have any of those because I'm like, you know, I haven't really beat the base game. I think it's just a disservice to just go straight to the DLCs, but you know, DLCs are fun though. They add new content. But if you're struggling on the base game, you know, like at least it seems as though the DLC focus more on like separations of systems and stuff like that. While the main game, the primary thing is that, well, you got one planet, you got one shot basically, and you send people out into space. Well, I mean, it's probably because you have the DLC, so it's probably unable for you. You think so? I don't know. I think it's harder. Because having everything decentralized, right, means you have to add more logistics to get, you know, resources from one planet to the other planet. So, I think honestly having one giant ass planet, yes, there's travel, but like realistically speaking, all your resources centralized onto like one area, right? Oh. No, I'm like 90% sure that's DLC. 90% sure. Because you can never be 100% sure, man. Also, these fuck you, stop taking this shit! This little shit. He's taking out poopies. Man. Wait, caught. When Lecter said there was gonna be a 30-day project, he was not kidding you, dog. Oh my god. It's taking them forever, dog. Maybe I should tell them not to pick up stuff. Or discourage them for picking up stuff. They could be overheated. I just thought they become Big Head. And then from Big Head, you know, they do whatever. We stopped farming them for the time being because they're too expensive. 23. That's not that hot. 23 is fine. I mean, my water is running at 24, man. I guess then again, my water is kind of hot. My water is kind of hot. My water don't lie. Good, very good. Oh, really? Interesting. I'm guessing it's probably like those ice fishes. Unless did they add more fish to the game? I don't know. Is there more fish than Pakus? Oh. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, eventually we're gonna have to pipe the main wire down, but for the time being, I'm just gonna use the El Cheapo wire because I don't want to pipe the main wire down, man. That's a pain in the dick. And plus, we don't have enough iron. I know it's infinite iron, but it's only as infinite as when we get it. So gotta wait until these things erupt, dog. This thing's gonna erupt first, so iron is gonna get. Man, if there's fires in this game, bro, like hydrogen gas and then just natural gas just sitting about in your base, like that shit will be horrifying, man. Just flash fires because it hit like one electronic or something like that. But damn. It would not be a fun time for anybody. I'm gonna find a song. I'm like, oh, where is it? Whatever. I mean, it's all the elements, man. You can't handle all the elements. Oh, you mean like the reactive metals? Oh, I don't know, man. I think the game's already hard enough, you know? 30 kilojoules wasted. Over generation of power? What? I think the Dark Souls, like I said again, it's a different like concept, right? I think Factorial is probably like the next level up. Now we have Magma. Yeah. It's a different type of itch though, so I don't know. I played a little bit of Factorial, at least a demo for it, and like it just blew my mind a little bit. But then again, you know, like with any game that you first start, it's gonna blow your mind a little bit, just because you gotta take into consideration like all the different systems, mechanics, and stuff like that. So it's just like any Paradox game. When you first start it, it's just like, God damn, there's a lot of buttons, and then, you know, eventually it's like, oh, I know how to do all the buttons now. Let's go. To be real with you, I wouldn't say never played Minesweeper, but Minesweeper, like, I kind of get what you need to do, but I haven't actually like finished a game of Minesweeper. I don't even know people like finish them, honestly. PC gaming days, skip straight to Warcraft, which is kind of nice. Or actually, Flash games, to be more precise. At least when I was a young little boy. we play Flash games, and then from there, we play Warcraft. And difficulty, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like, the player gets to dictate, especially for single-player games, right? For multiplayer games, difficulty is going to be dependent on how I guess, good the other players are. Some people are just nasty with it, you know? I think I'm gonna run my main power line. How are we gonna cool it? I mean, right now we're generating like a hella excess cooling. So I mean, I don't mind running a cooling loop down here to cool down the batteries and shit like that, and then run the power lines, you know, to whatever destination it's going to. Well, let's start another dig project. Yeah, because I'm thinking of installing one transit tube access towards the bottom of this, so that people can go up quicker, faster. Yeah, I feel like for single player games though, you get to dictate how hard you want to make the game, and whether or not you want to, you know, make the game easier for yourself or not. Because at the end of the day, if you're not having fun with a particular game, then, you know, you should not be playing it to begin with. I guess, you know, this game, when caught, I definitely think the early game could be a little bit tedious. But once you get to the mid game, though, life is a dream, man. When you're finally producing whatever surplus, and you're living the good life. Like, let's fucking go, dude. I guess then again to this point can be very hard though. Our journey has not been the most simplest journeys, but by golly, are we getting there? I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna route these power lines, man. Fuck me, man. Alright, let's get airflow tiles. Heavy watt conductive wires. Yeah, I mean, we're at that point now where I wouldn't say we're equilibrium. We're actually producing surplus, which is just crazy. Like in all my other runs, I don't think we ever lived. I guess then again, all the other runs have like more dupes, and, you know, more dupes, more difficulty, right? So we call it. It's just we're in a really nice state right now, and I'm comfortable at where we're at, and I don't want to disturb the balance unless we have to, you know. So I think this first tube is gonna be for general electronics. The second tube is gonna be for the access transit tube that I'm gonna put at the bottom of this level for the time being, just because I think it's a good midway point between. I mean, I probably would want to add 3 actually. I want to add 3. I think we might add 3. Bam. Stop one there. Stop one there. I don't even know how you're building that power transit right on top of that, John. So basically, I'm making it artificially easy for myself by having a low amount of dupes, which is kind of nice. Just because, I don't know, man, life doesn't always have to be a struggle. You can have fun, okay? All right, so this is return trip. So like, I don't have to like focus on heavily cooling this shit. I just needed to cool it like somewhat. I think I'm gonna add 3. I wish there was a copy tool. I think that's the only thing that would be kind of nice, just because, like, realistically speaking, the building ain't gonna change that much. Like, in the grand scheme of things, let's be real here. Having a copy tool, like copying pasta, like this design. I don't really need. Wait, there is a copy. Where's the copy? Canceled, priority, disinfect, sweep, attack, wrangle, harvest, disconnect. There's a copy. Oh my god! Wait. But does it can it copy? Oh, I need a copy. What the? Oh my god! You know what? I kind of did it to myself, but at the same time, though, you guys want to, not want to die, please? I need a copy button, man. Middle right? Is there copy structures? Yeah, I mean this thing's nice just because you can like copy like certain buildings, but I need a structure copy. I guess, but it's still not like I need because I legitimately this is how I usually do my power transformers. Yeah, there's probably a mod for that. I mean, technically, you want to use less transformers, but honestly, like big transformers, they just don't lie, okay? And I really realistically don't need that much power. I don't think at least right now, I don't think I ever will need a 4 kilowatt like power generator. Seems obsessively like a lot. Mother. The one thing that you'll know is to learn to love is the spaghetti. The spaghetti monster will consume us all. We will become one with the spaghetti. The spaghetti will bless us. What's going on here? Unreachable dig. Unreachable build. What the fuck you mean unreachable? Just walk. Just walk, man. Oh, you guys can't... Oh, they can't jump to heights to grab the ladder. Oh. Oh, I need this thing built because we need to start sucking this thing up. I don't know, honestly. Like, I don't know how people manage to zoom out. I don't. Maybe it's a mod. I know you can disable the HUD because I did it a couple times before, but I'm not entirely sure how people like zoom out really far. Because it would be kind of nice to know because like, especially as your base becomes super wide, it's kind of a pain. Then again, I'm not like the best person to probably look for designs inspiration just because he designed monstrosities. Okay, it's true. Just need to make sure these babies don't fire out while the batteries. My philosophy, if it works, don't worry about it. Okay, we're gonna have to pump. I think we want to leave gaps between our power to make sure that if we need to bridge anything, they can. Oh, fuck. Oh, I totally forgot there's a carbon thing right there. Man. Well. Don't worry about it, okay? Just don't worry about it. And then... I guess we don't have to keep that shit running one parallel directly. Like, I mean, surviving 200 cycle is still pretty impressive, though. That's a good feat. Now, get infinite metal. And then, commit the Poggin. The Poggin! Type block. What is it blocked by? Oh. Let's go! We finally get polluted water! Man, most people usually... I mean, I'm not usually excited for polluted water, but I mean, considering the fact that we have, like, no polluted water, getting some polluted water is kind of nice. Damn. It depends on the def, right? If the def is quick, there's really nothing... No! We mixed the liquids! Ah! I hate it when the liquids mix. It's be nuts! Clean that. Ah, much. So, for me, it's depth. I think depth is what really, like, it triggers me greatly when they die. Because it's just like, God, now we will want to deal with them foreverly crying about, oh, my friend Tommy died. And it's just like, come on, man. We all make mistakes, okay? Gotta seal Tommy into his own little crypt. See, I told you, man. This game, you either become... what do you call it? Eventually, you just become like me. You just spiral and spiral. That is true. It's nice to see the dupes once in a while, but... I mean, considering the fact that, you know, like... I don't treat them that well. Maybe I should start treating them better, man. Nah. Do you see any sad dupes? Exactly. I'm treating them just as they deserve, okay? Yeah, I hate mixing the gases, but once it becomes like the exterior and not the interior, like I don't really care, man. As long as our interior is pure, then what is it? I'm a good little camper. Why is the gas still not being vacuumed? You want me to become the Joker? Oh. God. God. Damn. I tried my best. The only 2 gas that should be in my base, theoretically speaking. Oh, I guess 3 gas if you talk about hydrogen. Especially, I mean, I'm going to kick these guys out anyways. These guys are getting evicted, okay? They're going to move into this desert biome and they're going to love it. Because, what do you call it? The only 2 gas that I want in my base, oxygen and carbon. Everything else gotta go. Damn. You don't even keep carbon in your base? What about the oxyfern guys, man? We're oxyfern guys. Of course we put carbon on our base. Come on. Damn, I need more gas pressure, if anything. Holy crap. Alright, let's pop you up to 2800. Gotta keep the carbon level a little bit higher, man. Damn. I guess if you really don't want carbon in your base, like you could put a carbon skimmer at the low point of your life support pod, and then you know from there, you know it'll skim out all the carbon. Because the real thing about pressure, right, is that if your oxygen pressure drops dramatically, the carbon level rises. But because we produce like an astronomical amount of oxygen, aka surplus of +2 dupes. I don't have to really worry about our oxygen level dropping, pushing the carbon up. If anything, I gotta worry about the oxygen level increasing, pushing the carbon down. God damn it, man!
I need you to stop. I need you to rise.
They're not rising anymore, man. Alright, 3,000 grams. Oh, yeah. I would just skim the carbon, honestly. Like, I mean, I guess you can suck the carbon out, but I don't know. You know, either or, honestly. I like carbon. Carbon is a great gas because it can act like a plug. I mean, I use carbon as my plug. Well, liquid carbon. But carbon itself also is like the heaviest gas, right? So that thing will always sit at the bottom, separating all the gases. Honestly, now that I think about it, this thing is only 900. Oh no, it's 960. But I can run 2 kilowatts. Shit. That means I got one. That means one wire can run 2 of them. I don't need to dedicate one wire to like one. That's what we're doing. That's what we're thinking. He's actually thinking with math. Also, I love centralized power grids, man. They're so nice just because like you can direct your power wherever you need them, right? So would recommend when you can try to centralize your power grid, definitely try to do it because it is definitely worth it, man. Having a centralized power grid just makes your life so much more easier. I think we're ready. Alright, I'm gonna hijack this line. Just connect this thing. Why you know? Oh. 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 Transformer is how you separate it into like its own little grid, right? Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I had to tame 2 volcanoes, man. I honestly, like, realistically, your first aqua tuner should be cool in your base, but my first aqua tuner went to this iron volcano because I'm like, brother, my brother in Christ, we're gonna need way more refined metal. So I understand the struggle, man. What I don't understand, why are you not constructed this? This is critical infrastructure. Where are they going? Alright, the pipe's good. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna need you to focus on backfilling this thing now. Oh, let's go. We always like mess here. Some people want to become the Joker. And some people is me, Joker. Alright, let's see what we got here. Actually, where's the Twitch audio going is the better question. Let's go into the game. The hell? I guess I might as well fix this while we're here. Ow! Ah, auto read. Ah, there we go. We're good now. We're good. Yeah, those things. I'm guessing those are the mini or the behemoths. That is definitely DLC, bro. I got a nice little farm. All right, you don't have a little mini. I need to make a mini. Oh. Damn, you need. Oh god, yeah, you're right. It's
Then I have vents to suck it all the carbon down here.
oh, okay. We're watching live at Cody's Knickknack Gamer Stream.
Yeah, I might have to fix the oxygen again.
It's breathable, sorta. Yeah. You have no refined metals?
I need to turn this one on. I had this one on before as well, but I had power issues. Nope.
Ah.
I used up all my metal.
Damn. You can always punch the metals.
And then they peed in my my water reserve that I haven't touched in a while.
Oh.
But I have another water reserve.
Ah, that's good.
My people drink fish pee. Well, that's one of the deaths. My toilets. They ran out of water because this here was broken. I forgot I dug down here, and the pipe was destroyed. And it's
Oh.
probably gonna happen again because I haven't placed this deeper in the water yet. The steam. Okay, but yeah, that's it.
Okay. Got a nice little base going. Nice early game base too, so for early game people, I mean, you know. Feel free to watch Cody's. Mine is just an old man, middleman base.
Yeah. Yeah, but I have all this built or trying to build because ladders, they hate ladders. Decor, not. It's like minus a bunch from just the ladders on decor.
Ah, I never mind
And
much about decor.
I stopped here. There was a slime death as well. Everyone got sick. I just hate seeing slime bubbles in the air, as well as pee. That's why I actually have them to wash their hands and Germix here.
Oh.
So I make sure they're clean. But this is also where all the pee's going, or trash.
Hey, that's liquid gold right there. You can make water.
Good stuff over here. Yeah. Well, that's the plan. Once they start having water issues. But I also haven't dug into... Well, actually, I dug into this. I sucked all the water back into here. And we still have this water. And this, actually. I haven't done it. It's right by
plenty
my
of
base.
water.
I'm just stupidly leaving it there.
Oh, looks like Cody has a good early game base going. Maybe I guess if you want to check a more earlier base design, like Cody think it definitely has a much younger looking face. Same madness. What do you call it? This just a different sense, right? Or different scale, because you know, like he's focusing again on the big three: oxygen, food, and temperature. Well, right now it looks like he has the first two nailed down, and also I guess temperature's not really that problematic yet. For me, I'm just living an excess life. Which is probably because I don't have a lot of dupes. Listen, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I don't have a lot of dupes because I like my life not complicated. Having a lot of dupes, it makes your life complicated. Because then you gotta worry about like, okay, how am I gonna produce oxygen? How am I gonna get X? How am I gonna get Y? I mean, less loop is just like fuck them, straight up. Decor, don't worry about it. Morale, don't worry about it. I guess germs, don't worry about it. I guess then again, you know what? One thing nice about this planet, slime lung only exists on like very far. So I guess that's one thing that I'm actually kind of fortunate that we don't have to worry about. Just because like we don't have any algae biomes or like slime biomes like right next to us that can inject a bunch of slime lung into my colony. They're all on the fringes of the colony. So that's kind of nice just because I don't have to worry about all the I don't have to worry about slime lung. And then when you get suits, I don't think you can get slime lung through the suits, I believe. Oh yeah, I mean farming like if you think catches are crazy, Pakus literally their population is insane. We started with one Paku and now look at us. We have I don't even know how many Pakus that are in this one little room. But too goddamn much, man. Yeah, would recommend Paku farming if you ever get a chance because they spread so far, man. With just one, you can multiply them into 10s, 20s. Oh. Yeah, I generally skip meal lice as a food. I mean like the meal lice bars just because they consume water and like early game. I mean, I'm kind of stingy with water, but once you start producing excess water, then you know you gotta spend it like no tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So I guess one thing good about your biome is that you have access to Thrumbleweed, and like if you want to throw away some of your germy water, that's what I usually do with the excess polluted water. I just throw that shit into, you know, plants. Plants are really great at deleting things that you don't want. You don't want germy water? Just throw it in a plant. You don't want dirty water? Throw it in a plant. Now, granted, that's only if you have excess water, though. If you don't produce excess water and you start throwing it into your plants, then, you know, it can have some very bad ramification because, you know, water management is very, very important in the early game. Why don't you pump? Oh. You know what? It makes sense why you don't pump. Anyways, I can finally get rid of this oil, man. This godforsaken oil in my pond. This, honestly, this has been disturbing me for I don't know how long. So, being able to get rid of this oil that's been sitting here for I don't know how long. I don't even know how it managed to get into this place, man. It's the size. It's because it's too big. That's why I have to use a mini pump to suck up a little bit at a time so that we can mop it. Takes way more water. Interesting. To be real with you, I don't think cooking, at least for me, I mean, if you have morale issues, food is definitely one of the best ways to, like, you know, turn your sad dupes of being sad. Are you guys done building already? God damn. Okay. I was thinking of adding a middle tube, but I don't know if we want to add a middle tube because I think we want to add a middle tube actually towards the oil producer. Am I gonna really start producing oil? I don't know yet. What? Bruh. That's insane, man. So basically, how long do they take to produce though? Like, that's also another factor, right? Like, if it takes like 30 cycles or something like that, then you gotta divide that, you know, with the math. But that's crazy. They have 200 cycles. God damn. How are you cold? It's 26. Get the fuck out of here. I'm cold. So you basically never have to worry about food ever again. Oh my god. God damn. I love bristles. Bristles, they're not the most efficient, but they get the job done. So that's why I like them. Actually, I think there are the like the secondary, like after you do mealwood, because mealwood, I'm sorry, all right, y'all, but our friendship with mealwood has ended. No. But those are space cows, though. I don't think many people are gonna be eating space cows. To say the least of things here. Like, that's a real flex. You want to see someone flex? Make them eat space cows, man. That's a real flex, okay? Alright, this oil is getting sucked up one liquid at a time. Our diet is going to consist mostly of just raw plants. Or raw meal lice. Or mealwood. Yum yum yum. Yummy yummy in my tummy. I think the most surprising thing is how equal our temperature. I thought it was going to drop below 15 Celsius, but it's honestly been holding at 15 Celsius. Which is just like, what the heck? Oh, yeah, these guys are annoying. I try to feed them with a critter feeder, but it turns out these guys they're natural eaters. Freaking. I think the only animal that eats from it is probably the hatchet. I know the hatches can. I think they can eat from it. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure anymore, man. But then again, like I would say these guys like it depends on how early you want to get plastic, right? Because they're just a plastic producer. Because they eat mealwood. That mealwood increases their chances from getting the glossy guys, and the glossy guys is what produces the plastic. Of course, these guys give you thumbleweed. Thumbleweed is kind of, or weed fiber is kind of good, but you know, that's what I have the plants for. Oh, yeah. Honestly, though, the critters, they're some of them are definitely more useful than others, to say the least of things here. But they all have like a relationship with the resource that you give them. So like the pips, they eat trees to produce dirt. These guys eat mealwood to produce plastic. These guys eat seeds to produce polluted dirt. And then the polluted dirt, you can feed that shit to your hatches to make a sage hatch, and then that sage hatch can turn that shit into coal. It's a cycle of infinite resources. Or at least resource cycling. I'm debating on whether or not I want to let the carbon out. Oh damn, we sucked this thing dry already. God damn! I still feel lied to though. You know, the person who told me there was a big ass lake down here. There was no big ass lake. They lied to me. How could they? Yeah, I think the transition again, and like it's different for different players, right? Some player like I really like Millwood. I'm gonna stick with Millwood. Other players are gonna transition to bristles. Bristles are only nice just because at the end of the day, once you hit the like later game and you have like a lot of excess water, a really great way to channel your excess water is just produce food, and we like food, so I guess water management should be like one of the things too that you need to probably prioritize on. No, but again, shout out. This is honestly the S tier. This is just an S tier like thing, man. Cold slush geysers. I just don't see a negative with these guys. I mean, yes, it's the what do you call it? Exhale the like burst out their thing at very cold temperatures, but it's just so damn good, man. If this is not an S tier geyser, I don't know what is. I mean, no, this has to be the only S tier. For south, no. For what do you call it? Being able to generate cooling temperatures without you having to do anything. I love it. It's my favorite. Oh wow! Speak of the devil, and the devil has happened. We have finally dropped below 15. Well, we knew this day was gonna come at some point. Oh. We knew this was gonna happen at some point. I just didn't expect it to happen now. Interesting. Very interesting. But yeah, probably now that I love it. Oh! What are we gonna do about the eggs and stuff like that? Well, they're kind of in the way. What am I gonna do about this entire biome? I might dig up this entire biome. Honestly, it is probably time. Nope, it's time to dig up biomes and shit like that. Not because of the resources, but because we're gonna set up the next stage of our thing, which is involving the tapping of the core. Honestly, I do not envy your position, man. Man, slime lung. It does not. I mean, we have like I mean, we're hella infested. Oh my god. Well, again, if it's not part of the main base, it's not my problem. So I'm just gonna look away and pretend that the slime lung is not my problem until it becomes my problem. I guess. But we haven't tapped into the slime biome yet. I'm keeping, like, slime. That stuff is definitely not coming back to base with me. It depends. Because this polluted oxygen, it doesn't go away because slime lung can live in polluted oxygen. So we'll have to unpollute the oxygen is how it's gonna go. Or, hear me out. What if we pump the oxygen into space? Parry this, you filthy casual. Throw them ass to space. or we throw them into a volcano and then burn them alive. Because that's what they only get. They only get to deserve that. Fuck you, slime lung. You're garbage. Yeah, you can use as long as it like oxygen or chlorine gas is actually really effective at killing slime lung. Look at these little fuckers. Yeah! Yeah, they're gassing themselves! But the best way is probably clean the air. Where is the polluted oxygen? Where did it even came from, bro? Oh, you know what? Yeah, I actually know where it came from. Oh! I don't know, man. You want to chlorine gas your teammates? I don't know about that one. Yeah, definitely want an airlock. Ugh. I love waterlock the most just because it's simple. Actually, that reminds me. I need more oil. Ugh. Disgusting. It's disgusting. There we go. Makes me feel. You think? You think so? That's why I say every player is gonna draw different lines, right? For me, I'm like water locks. It works. You could tactically use an air version of this by filling the bottom with like instead of liquid carbon, you do like actual carbon because carbon is a heavy gas, so carbon can serve as a. I was like, is all my lock made of liquid right now? Yeah, this one. You see how the carbon dioxide is separating the polluted oxygen? So in this case, I'm using carbon gas as an air separator. So you technically can use an air version of this if you're so inclined. And you know, they do have the benefit of not also like being a liquid, so your people won't mind it as much. If you want to use the air version. Oh no, the carbon. As long as you have as long as there's a sink, I mean, yeah, on the other side, yeah. If the other side's a vacuum, then yeah, the carbon will get stuck into the vacuum, right? But as long as there's two, gases around, then the carbon will stay here because it's a heavy material. It's not gonna up itself and then go over unless there's a vacuum on either end. Then it's gonna suck. The right is a vacuum, so if this crude oil comes out, this carbon will definitely get sucked up into the thing. But if there's a gas here that is lighter than carbon, then carbon cannot rise into it because carbon is a heavy gas, so it sinks. So there's also an air variant you can do. You just got to make sure to be much more careful with it, just because if you make a vacuum on either end, then the carbon can rise. As long as there's a gas that is lighter than it, then it will stay there in place. So, in this scenario, it's not the best. It's not the best example, just because it's motherfucking vacuum on the other end. But as you can probably tell, the carbon can't go anywhere because the polluted oxygen is putting pressure onto this thing, so it can't go. This thing I made it a vacuum because I was gonna dump a bunch of natural gas eventually into this room if our system ever gets like overfilled. So I'll have another like backup. So I'll have like these things in storage, and then worst case scenario, we'll use the gas stored in the room itself, because like this room doesn't have anything heating it up, right? So like it doesn't really need cooling. It's always going to be super cold, and the gas that we're inputting into this thing has already been temperature and climate control and all that business. So I don't have to worry about that one. Which is why I like my position, man. It's a position that, realistically speaking, the only thing that can kill me is if I pop myself into one of these volcanoes, which, that's gonna be, I played myself at that point. Or another way I can die is, I don't even know. That's a really nice position to be in right now, to say the least of things. Just because, well, I'm at a net surplus production right now. I think any type of suits, right? Like, I don't think it matters the suit material. Maybe it does, actually. Let's see. Iron, 700. Does it actually affect it? It does not. Yeah, so I think you just need... Wait. No, even like a regular iron suit, that thing only goes up to 700 degrees though. So like, or just any suits in general. So technically, you'll be burning yourself, but remember the vent, right? Assuming that you set it up properly, all the heat should be getting absorbed by the steam. So the thing won't actually vent out. Unless you have a vacuum. Then that temperature will be like 2000, and your dupes can take a lot of damage from it. But usually when these guys come out, they're coming out at a lower temperature. Let me see if I have any iron yet. It has, but it's already been processed. Son of a bitch! The most important part is the steam, okay? You need the steam, or else this thing is coming out wicked hot. I guess for this thing, it's kind of different because they export like exponentially more mass compared to these guys. These guys erupt, relatively speaking, only 8.2 kilograms. These actual volcanoes, 300 kilograms. Almost 20 times the difference. Okay? So you could probably tell that these guys were probably going to be more heat generators than these guys. These guys are like little babbies compared to the big boys. I kind of want to... What happens if I disable you for a second? Because I just want to show, like the thing. This is a good example, actually. So even though this thing is, you know, like 2500 Celsius when it comes out, the moment it comes out, it's going to touch the steam and add its heat into the steam, turning it into a solid. And it's going to lose a lot of that heat. So you don't have to worry about it. See? So, you know, instead of being like 2500 or something like that, it gets immediately reduced down to 800. So it's definitely within the operating temperature of the suits, and the local surrounding also will never get that hot. Just because as long as you put the steam turbine to delete the heat, then the excess heat that is getting generated from the conversion will be reduced into manageable temperatures. So the object itself, yeah, it's kind of hot, but that heat like loses up like pretty quickly, and then it loses it up even quicker once we add it to the what you may call it, the item processor. So what temperature do you process at these days? 800? My god. Oh, remember, it's 800, right? But it's only 20 kilograms, so it's not a lot of heat. I mean, it's enough heat to heat up these guys, but it's okay. Probably. What's the final temperature we're gonna get at? 12, 13, what's the highest? It's around 15 degrees. Yeah. Not too bad. It is not too bad. I love our redesign, dude. Our redesign. If the only thing is that it's better to build horizontal than vertical, because vertical is a pain in the dick. So if I'm gonna make, let's see, this is V3. I think V4 we'll probably just lie it flat rather than have it stick up. Just because that's way more easier to manage than having it stick up, because their dupes, they don't really work that well upwards. And this thing, I don't know, man. We fucked this one up already, so I'm like, I just don't want to touch it. And, you know, it's sometimes nice to have relics of previous designs just to see how much it evolved. But yeah, you know, I think I'm content with where we're at. I think I'm gonna install one more thing, and then we're gonna start our first collection of oil. Motherfucker, it's oil. And then, well, now that the giant ocean is a lie, it's not an ocean. It's magma. Well, now that that's a lie, I guess what we can do is, well, I mean, I don't even know, man. I was so excited. I was like, yo, we're gonna finally have an underground pool. Let's fucking go. It was a lie all this time. They lied to me. I guess before we actually no. Before I pump the oil, I'm gonna say the next stream we're gonna focus on ranch farming. Just because I gotta overhaul our system right now because it's garbage. Yeah. Eventually, once you secure your internal area, living area, yeah, you definitely don't want to go out there without any form of protection, because there's a lot of shit that wants to kill you out there. Slime lung, what you may call it. There's also the zombie spores. These guys, I've not had a case where someone got infected yet, but I don't wanna be that case, you know? 4 million zombie spores. I can imagine, dude. Bumping into this thing, it will create a catastrophic disaster, man. God. And they live in carbon dioxide too, and that shit's gonna be plenty in your industrial. So, but yeah, I just want to produce some what do you call it? Some oil. It's our God-given right to get oil. Maybe some oil. I don't know. Oil is complicated. We have a complicated relationship with oil. Because oil is really that transition to the end game stage. Because from oil, you can produce petroleum. Petroleum, you can produce plastic. If you're going to go that route to produce your plastic. Or you can use the petroleum to also produce energy. Especially since the petroleum generator, they generate 2 kilowatts, I believe, of power. Compared to the natural gas, which, you know, like, they only generate, like, 800. So, they're definitely much more efficient. Unless you have, like, you know, infinite natural gas. Then, you know, infinite natural gas is kind of good, too. But that's late game shit, okay? You don't have to worry about that. Just worry about getting to the mid game. Because that's the hardest leap. I feel like the hardest leap in this game, or, like, the biggest curve that people need to hop over first, is getting to the mid game. And that's usually just steel production. And steel production, well, it's pretty difficult. I guess the first thing you're gonna need is, where am I gonna get my... Ooh.
Malcolm. Should get some bubbles.
Ooh. Interesting. It's usually these biomes that have iron. And then from iron, you know, you gotta need, like... Well, I mean, for steel-wise... you're gonna have to punch the dinosaurs, okay? The best place to get lime is to punch dinosaurs. Obviously, right now, I signed a truce with the dinosaurs for the time being. But eventually, we're gonna punch more of them if we want to produce more steel. Just because the aqua tuners need steel. It's not negotiable. The bare minimum is these aqua tuners due to the fact that these environments are going to be so hot. I guess you could also use iron. Oh, wait, no, you can't. Never mind, I lied. Did I lie? Wait, hold up. Overheat temperature is 125. I don't think you can use iron. Yeah, it has to be steel, because steel adds the overheat temperature plus 200. And in order for these steam turbines to work, they need to be above a certain temperature. And I'm pretty sure the minimum is 125, so... what you call it? I don't even know how it's gonna work, honestly. Because they can only remove heat up to 125. Anything below 125, it can't remove any heat. So, yeah, I don't even know why they even let you build this thing. Maybe there's some kind of weird shenanigans you can do with the aqua tuner to not let it overheat, but the safest bet is just build out of steel. And you might call it use steel, because steel is easy, man. You just need to get the first initial batch of steel. That's the hard part. Now, so don't be an idiot like me, using your first aqua tuner to tame a volcano rather than using the first aqua tuner to tame the heat around your base, because heat management, again, it's a slow killer. Unlike oxygen and food, those guys kill you really quickly. Temperature kills you very slowly, so do keep that in mind. That's why, you know, temperature is a third one, but, you know, just like a slow snail, it'll get to you eventually. So, you know, definitely use your first aqua tuner to, if your base is heating up dramatically, to cool down your base rather than tame one of the volcanoes that are around the map, or the geysers. That's what we also do with these natural gas. I guess I don't have to, because they technically put steel, but I just like it coming in at a more comfortable temperature rather than a hot temperature. I mean, again, like, you don't really have to cool this. You can just replace everything with steel. Steel is great. I love steel. Steel is one of those end game resources. Not end game, mid game resources that you're gonna need to get through the hip. Once you get your first steel, it becomes much easier to produce the following steel, because then you get, you know, the tools that you need to win. But there's two different things, right? There's steel and then there's plastic. Plastic is also that other hub. I get it through ranching. You can get it through other methods like petroleum or crude oil. I just think ranching is more effective than getting it through oil, just because oil, you know, you need to set up your thing, you need to extract the oil, you need to process the oil, it generates a lot of heat compared to ranching, which, you know, you just feed these Streckodes some mealwood and then you can get it via that way. Oh wait, we produce polluted oxygen? No! Really? I don't know what produced polluted oxygen, but I'm gonna need to remove that shit. That's not. That's not 90 kilograms, please. God damn, man. Did they ever finish moving the items? Nope. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's why, for me, I just like to have the oxygen running 24/7. Now, granted, if you don't have enough algae or enough water, then definitely don't run it 24/7 because, like, obviously, if you're missing one of the two resources to produce oxygen, you got bigger concerns, right? But you pretty much can just run it 24/7, assume that you have the resources. Just because the thing is that they will overpressurize at 2,000 grams. So, which is, really good. Just because, that's very breathable. As you can probably tell. It's very breathable. Oh, I mean, it's not exactly 2,000 grams here, but what do you call it? The maximum pressure, if you look at our bedroom, is 2,000 grams because that's like the maximum air pressure that whatever will produce at the oxygen diffuser or the electrolyzer. You don't really produce algae, to be honest with you. You kind of just mine it. If you start on the beginner planet, they give you a lot of algae, enough algae for you to transition over to the electrolyzer. So eventually you will have to move over to the electrolyzer. At least until then, though, I mean, you can use the oxygen thing to just produce more air, which is good because we like air. It's true, folks. We like air. Air is great because they don't include it in for some reason. Again, there's a mod that I don't know. Some people might think it's a bit cheaty, but there's a mod that lets the printed pilot produce oxygen, and I think that's fair. I mean, like especially if you struggle early on to get oxygen, having a thing that produces oxygen for free is always nice. But it's not that bad. You got this, Chief. I guess then again, I don't know. I like the carbon skimmer. The carbon skimmer, it's the silent protagonist, man. All right, it don't look like it do much, but by golly, does it delete an astronomical amount of carbon. If you, for some reason, don't need to use the carbon for anything, turn on a carbon skimmer. Ooh. The carbon, honestly, I don't even know, man. I don't know where it legitimately deletes it. Yeah, because this thing is a net weight cut. You just need like 1 or 2 pips of water, and it will forever clean the carbon out of your air. So, especially if you have no use cases. Well, in this case, we do have a use case for carbon in our base because we use oxyferns, and oxyferns are the greatest. Goddamn fern. Look at these oxyferns. They produce oxygen. It's true. I love oxyferns. Probably one of the best plants. Now, granted, we also engage in some shenanigans to get this many oxyferns to begin with, because wait, I guess you can also plant them. What do they consume? Like, do they consume water? If they do consume water, I mean, they're not that good. I need a farm tile. But if they consume polluted water, they're not that bad, because, again, like, I hate pee. I hate wastewater, okay? I don't like that shit sitting near my base. I don't like that shit being near my stuff. They eat dirt, and they actually eat clean water. I mean, that's not bad. And the thing with like, farming these guys is that the natural or nature variant, they produce at 1/4 of their total production. So these guys can eliminate even more carbon dioxide. I'm just keeping it artificially low because, what do you call it? I don't want to pay the water cost. I'm cheap. But then again, we're rich now, so maybe we don't have to be cheap as much. No. We gotta keep saving, man. Okay? You never know when the famine times will happen, so you gotta always be you always gotta be actually prepared, and having enough liquid to make sure that you don't have to go through the famine times is definitely something that we gotta keep an eye on. Also, this geyser is gonna go quiet for 60 cycles, so we're gonna lose water for 60 cycles before we add more water. So it's not infinite water. Unless we consume less than what do you call it, than it produces. But yeah, I think I'm gonna stop for today. Cody, are you still live? Send a raid over to you. I think tomorrow I want to dedicate my focus on probably doing ranching. I keep saying this, like we got to ranch. Meanwhile, me, yeah, but you know, the bottom of the map has an ocean. I kind of want to tap it. Well, now that we know it's a lie, you know, life is a lie, man. I guess we can just finally do the ranch because I've been promising the ranch and then we haven't done the ranch. I also want to expand my bathroom out too, so we'll do that. Water lava. We're gonna be swimming with the lava for today. I honestly hate lava. It's just too goddamn hot. Like I just don't ever see. I mean, I know where the use cases are, but at the same time, fuck lava, man. That shit's wicked hot. 1600, almost 3000 degrees. But they're useful though. But the materials that can interact with lava, like I think most of our materials will melt in the case of lava, right? 1600. Actually, a steel door can handle that. I think steel can handle that, right? Steel. What's your melting point, dog? Yeah, you're 2400. You can definitely. You're a big boy. You can handle that. Now everything else. I don't know. Can other metals handle that? What about you? Compared to steel. Properties. Oh yeah, you can't handle that. You can definitely handle that. So we're gonna need some steel before I can tap into that thing. But yeah, I'm gonna go get dinner. Nobium? I don't even know what that is, man. What the hell kind of dark magic is that? Does that resource exist? Actually, we probably don't have it discovered because. Oh no, it exists.
Holy shit. Opium.
How do you produce it? Oh, tungsten. Tungsten? I don't even seen tungsten, bro. Oh. Ormium? Yeah, I mean, its melting point is similar to steel. Its conductivity is, I don't know, I feel like it's similar to steel. What's so rare about this metal? What is this used for? Oh, it's superconductor research. Well, either way though, I mean, I'll worry about that tomorrow. Actually, no, tomorrow we're gonna do ranching, okay, y'all? I promise y'all. Two things tomorrow is what's gonna happen. We're gonna first expand our bathroom. I want to have at least 4 toilet because you know it is kind of ridiculous that we only on 2 toilet, man. You see how big my base is, and we're on 2 fucking toilets. What are you, man? A cheap son of a bitch. Okay, you know you kind of got me there. I am a cheap son of a bitch. But we're gonna upgrade our toilets first thing, and then I'm gonna ranch. Okay, we're gonna ranch. We're gonna upgrade our ranching setup because our current ranching setup sucks. Major PP. So those are the 2 things that we're gonna be working on tomorrow. And yeah, I mean, if Cody is still alive, I guess we could do a raid for Cody. And yeah, thank you for dropping by, Lecter. It's always nice to talk with people on the early game stages, just because like I definitely think the early game stages is where like the most challenges is, and then you know late game stages is just you becoming Joker. So well, at least we're not there yet, okay? I don't have to become Joker yet. And you know, I think Let me just go over and check. Gotta go over and check. See this man still streaming. Yes, he is still streaming. Good, good. All right, well let's just raid him, and you can watch someone doing the early game, which I think is the most fun, just because it's the most chaotic part of any oxygen not included run. So let's go. Let's go over to the stream, and I can go do, or actually no, I can go get some food. Is what's gonna have to happen here, brothers. Thank you for the follow, Lecter, and what do you call it? Anybody else who's lurking or watching? Let's go rate this man, show him some love, and we'll see everybody tomorrow. There we go. Let's go. All right, have a good night, everybody.